What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Shadowlands video. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing very well. Hope you're having a good weekend. Listen, we're going to continue on with the Rogue talent trees from DragonFlight. We did the class tree already and talked about some of the significant changes that are coming in there. Things like Cold Blood returning, Thistle Tea, Shadow Dance for all specs, being able to get Mark for Death, Deeper Stratagem, and Vigor if you want to. Interesting stealth bonuses. Very, very cool stuff going on with the class tree. If you want to see that video, go check that out. Today we're going to talk about Outlaw, which is, of course, you know, it's been my favorite spec. It's been my way to play Rogue in the current expansion in Shadowlands. So I wanted to start with Outlaw, and there's a lot to talk about here in terms of how they're modifying the Outlaw Rogue tree and what's changing, what's getting better. So we're just going to jump right into it. I've got a million different notes here that I want to talk about. So first of all, a couple things right off the top. The left side of the Outlaw tree is essentially a stealth package that has not existed for Outlaw Rogue. It certainly hasn't existed in the past, really. So this allows Outlaw Rogue to step into the shadows, to use their stealth abilities, and to get bonuses for doing so. And you can combine this left side of the tree with the right side of the class tree, okay? I'll get more into that later. The middle section of the tree is basically all of your combat buffs, right? You got Adrenaline Rush, Roll the Bones, Restless Blades. There's a PvP talent in here. Combat Potency for energy regen. Count the Odds, which is a conduit right now. And then there's more and more right down the middle. You kind of have all your combat buffs that you're going to want to grab, okay? On the right-hand side of the tree, you're looking at your Blade Flurry AoE stuff, some Between the Eyes bonuses, and then down at the bottom, things like Greenskin Whiskers and some incredible buffs to your Blade Flurry. One important spoiler I'm going to give you right now is that Blade Flurry can now target 8 enemies. They are buffing Dancing Steel by like a mile. So we'll get into that in a minute, but just know that the Outlaw Rogue AoE damage is going way up. 8 targets instead of what currently is 5. So that's kind of how it's set up. You got stealth over here, combat buffs in the middle, AoE and other buffs over here on the right-hand side. So let's start on this left side of the tree. Let's talk about this stealth package that's coming in because it's a really big deal. Right before I do that, though, shoot, I forgot to say this. Right before I do that, I want to do a comparison of how many talents you can get on live servers versus what you can get right now. So, for example, let me, I'm just going to go, I have my game on the other monitor. Let me pull up my talent tree. So, currently on live servers, the first talent tree is Weapon Master, Quick Draw, Ghostly Strike. We can see here that I've got Weapon Master here, Ghostly Strike over here, Quick Draw over here. Realistically speaking, for most builds, you're probably going to be able to grab 2 out of the 3 of those talents. So on live servers, you can only get 1 of them. So huge quality of life right there. You can get the extra chance from Weapon Master and get Quick Draw, which is probably the most likely combination. But you can also, this improves the value of Ghostly Strike because it means you could pick up Ghostly Strike and Weapon Master. Maybe that's all you want to be doing, right? So just interesting to see there. Acrobatic Strikes is now baseline on the class tree, which means you're very likely to pick this up on any given build that you're doing. And then Retractable Hook is over here if you really want to get the grappling hook thing. And then Hit and Run is actually over here, which is a little sad because I kind of like the extra movement speed. But it's kind of out of the way. But anyway, it's there if you want to grab it. The biggest change for all rogues that I'm always going to be bringing up is the fact that your energy regeneration needs are all picked up on the class tree. No longer are you going to have to spec over here to get energy regen. You've got Mark for Death, Deeper Stratagem, and Vigor all over here. You can pick up whichever ones you want. You could probably ideally get Mark for Death and Vigor if you want, or Mark for Death and Deeper Stratagem. Or just go right down the middle and get Deeper plus Vigor. You can get any combo you want, but they're all taken care of on the class tree, which is really important. Iron Stomach is here. Cheat Death is also here. And Elusiveness is also here, I believe, right there in the middle. So you can get all 3 of the defensive talents in the class tree, not in the spec tree. So again, I feel like you're getting more power in your spec tree because those defensive buttons are taken care of in your class tree. Very, very cool. Dirty Tricks, Blinding Powder, and Prey on the Weak, I believe, are all over here as well. Prey on the Weak is here. Blinding Powder, that is here. Oh, there it is right there. It's actually on the... This is baseline... Not baseline. This is for Outlaw. So, again, Blind is kind of an Outlaw thing, so they get the bonus to it. And then Dirty Tricks, which Cheap Shot, Gouge Sap, no longer cost energy, that is also here somewhere. Where was that? I think it's on the baseline tree. Am I going crazy here? I forget where it was. My bad, guys. I don't remember what that was. I do believe it's there somewhere, though. I'll have to look that up later. We'll find it later, and somebody can yell at me and remind me where it is. So, let's go to the last. These are the more important choices. Loaded Dice, Alacrity, Dreadblade. Dreadblades is here. Loaded Dice is right here. And Alacrity is on the base tree, the class tree. So, you can kind of get Alacrity, like, for free, because, like, I think ideally you're going to want to pick that up. And then you can grab one of the other talents that you were never going to take because they competed with Alacrity. So, you could take Loaded Dice if you want to right here. Or you could take Dreadblades. Most interestingly, you could take Dreadblades and not have it compete with Alacrity. I think that's maybe going to be one of the ones that you pick up more often than not, and I'll explain why later. Finally, this is really important. Dancing Steel, Blade Rush, Killing Spree. Blade Rush and Killing Spree are down here. I think very likely you're going to only pick one or the other, and they are bringing back Killing Spree in its original form, which I'm not happy with, so I hope they change this. But Dancing Steel is massively changed. On live, Dancing Steel says it increases the duration of Blade Flurry by 3 seconds and its damage by 5%. In DragonFlight, Blade Flurry increases... it strikes 3 additional enemies, and its duration is increased by 3 seconds. So it's so much better. It's like a million times better. It's not even close. 3 additional enemies on your regular Blade Flurry, which is 5 plus 3. That's 8 targets that you can get for Blade Flurry. That's insane. The regular Blade Flurry right now is like so much worse. So this is going to be a massive buff to AoE damage for Outlaw Rogue. Like, it's so good getting that extra Blade Flurry additional target. So that's, again, I just want to always highlight all the amazing amount of talents that you can pick up that you can't pick up on live servers. Like the straight buff that you are getting in terms of the amount of talents that you can get in DragonFlight versus live is insane. It's absolutely insane. It's going to be really crazy. So that's that. Let's move on to the tree itself. There's the left side, as I said, was the stealth package. We're going to get into that right now. Sorry. Important things to highlight here. This is a big stealth theme coming in for Outlaw Rogue that did not exist before now. Okay? It really focuses on ambush and then giving you stealth bonuses that will also coincide with stealth bonuses over here, particularly with Shadow Dance. So, for starters, obviously we have Sinister Strike getting its bonus chance to strike an additional time, giving your pistol shot. You got buff to evasion. Dodging an attack while evasion is active will trigger main gauge. That's actually really good on like Spiteful Week. You can get some extra damage out of that. Some grappling hook stuff that I don't really care about. Finishing moves have a chance to give you this is a passive. This is just a baseline passive right now, so likely you're going to want to pick this up. This isn't the end of the world, not having Ruthlessness, so if you didn't want to get it, you don't have to. Ghostly Strike, like I said, is here. The value of Ghostly Strike goes way up because you can already get the other competing talents, which were Weapon Master and Quick Draw. So you might want to pick that up. And then we have right here, Heavy Hitter. This is really important to understand. So this says it supercharges a combo point for 45 seconds. Finishing moves that consume the same number of combo points as your supercharge function as if they consume 7. So they're doubling down on the Kyrian playstyle of getting 7-point finishers kind of for free. And Ambush will now supercharge a combo point. Every time you hit Ambush, it's going to supercharge a combo point. I don't know exactly how this is going to work in practice, but my understanding is that you can just keep hitting Ambush over and over again. Imagine if you had Thistletea. Ambush costs energy but generates combo points, right? I think Ambush has 50 energy right now. Let me just look at my game really quickly. If I stealth, Ambush costs 50 energy. It generates 2 combo points, and it does a lot of damage. It does double the damage that Sinister Strike does, okay? So this is really, really good. There's a build here with the stealth package where you basically pop Thistletea and then Ambush, Ambush, Ambush because you're using Shadow Dance, let's say. So you pop Shadow Dance, you can use all stealth abilities for 9 seconds, and you just ambush, ambush, finisher, ambush, 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 finisher. And every time you're pressing ambush, you're getting a supercharged combo point. That's bananas. That's really, really, really good. So again, it means your finishers will be 7-point finishers instead of whatever combo point you're using. So this shifts the priority in terms of builders on Outlaw Rogue away from Sinister Strike a little bit. And that can be a problem because you want to pre-pressing Sinister Strike to be proccing your pistol shot stuff, right? So there's a bit of a competition there. However, it's going to get buffed later. Let's keep going. Look at this right away. Half cost uses of pistol shot have a 35% chance to cause your next ambush to be usable without stealth. So you can do it even outside of the Shadow Dance window. So you have a big burst window with Shadow Dance, where you go Shadow Dance, ambush, ambush. You're getting big supercharged combo points. Outside of the ambush or Shadow Dance window, you can do Audacity. You can get this Audacity thing, which just basically says every once in a while, actually pretty common, honestly. 35% chance is pretty high. You can just use ambush outside of stealth. Chance to trigger this effect matches the chance for your Sinister Strike to strike an additional time. And you can buff how often Sinister Strike strikes an additional time with this here, right? So Weapon Master makes this a 45% chance. There's a talent down here that gives you an additional, where is it? Down here. You have an additional 5% chance for Sinister, so you can get a 50% chance for that to happen. So that's very cool. Triple Threat is terrible. This needs to not be here. This is an awful, it's a conduit right now in Shadowlands, and I hate it. And I really wish that this would go away. So I'm hoping that they change Triple Threat to something else because it's blocking Blade Rush, which I really like Blade Rush, and I don't want to take 2 points into Triple Threat to get Blade Rush. So this needs to be something else, maybe related to Ambush. Like, I don't know. It just feels like this is an absolute dead talent, and I don't want to take it, but I have to if I want to take Blade Rush, and I'm probably never going to take Killing Spree, so I'm kind of sad about that, to be honest. But anyway, let's move on. You get Sepsis in this sort of stealth package area of Outlaw, which is very interesting. So, of course, this does a lot of nature damage over 10 seconds. If the target survives the full duration, they suffer additional damage, and you gain the use of a stealth ability. So this is for, like, raid bosses, I would think, that you're guaranteed to get the use of a stealth ability. And what's a stealth ability? Well, Ambush is a stealth ability, and you're going to be generating that supercharged combo point from Ambush. So, again, there's the synergy right there. You could also use this on, obviously, Pax and Mythic Plus, but you're hoping that the enemy doesn't die. The cooldown is reduced by 30 seconds if it does not last. So, Sepsis is pretty cool. If Sepsis kills the target, you get the cooldown back quicker. If Sepsis doesn't kill the target, you get that stealth ability for 5 seconds, which is really cool. So this is a really big bonus here. Take them by surprise. Haste increased by 20% while stealth, and for 12 seconds after leaving stealth. This is really easy for Outlaw to take advantage of. First of all, you can pop Shadow Dance, and it'll give you all the combat benefits of stealth, which includes things like Take them by surprise, things like Night Stalker, things like Shadow Runner. You get all those bonuses. Outside of the Shadow Dance window, though, you can press Vanish, and Restless Blades reduces the cooldown of Vanish. So you can, like, Vanish and then pop your, let's say Dispatch, and then for 12 seconds, you get 20% more haste. And you can sort of keep that buff rolling a lot of the time, in my opinion. So that's really cool. Here's what kind of brings the entire stealth package together for Outlaw Rogue: Hidden Opportunity. Effects that grant a chance for Sinister Strike to strike an additional time also apply to Ambush. Very cool. Here's what I do not know about this. Here's what I'm not sure of. Sinister Strike has a chance to give you your next pistol shot as half-cost double damage if it strikes an additional time. Ambush does not have that written into its, just baseline. So all I think this is doing for you, from what I understand, all I really believe that this is doing for you is giving you a chance for Ambush to strike an additional time. Now, if you take Fan the Hammer and Weapon Master, that's a 50% chance for Ambush to strike an additional time, which just means a lot more damage and a lot more combo points. It might also mean that it supercharges an additional combo point with Heavy Hitter. I don't know if that's true. There's a lot of things we're going to have to test here. It probably doesn't mean that, but the point here is simply to say you're going to be pressing Ambush a lot with this stealth row here and combining it with the stealth side of the class tree. the subtlety side here, then you're going to be you have this really interesting stealth build as Outlaw Rogue where most of the time you're using Sinister Strike, but then you'll have a big window where you press Shadow Dance and you're like ambush, ambush, finisher, ambush, ambush, finisher. Maybe use Thistletea along with that. And it'll be a really interesting gameplay shift for Outlaw Rogues if they want to go down this path. And it really does feel like they're making all the rogue specs like kind of come together and be usable together, which is really exciting. It's really, really awesome to feel that. So traditionally, Outlaw Rogue has been the farthest away from the stealth package of the 3 rogues, and now they're kind of bringing that into the forefront. So very excited for that. Very, very cool. Let's back this off and go to the middle section of the tree. Okay? Let's go to the middle section of the tree. Like I said, it has most of your combat bonuses, okay? It focuses a lot on your buffs and your passives. So very first at the beginning here, you can get Adrenaline Rush, Roll the Bones, and then you can get 2 buffs to Roll the Bones. Loaded Dice is a talent that nobody takes right now. It might actually be taken, though, now because it's not competing anymore for things like Alacrity, which you're going to get over here, hopefully, and Dreadblades, which is, of course, over here. So a Loaded Dice might be a take now. Activating Adrenaline Rush gives your next Roll the Bones a chance to grant 2 matches. That might actually be an auto-include now. Maybe it's not, but at least it's there, and it's not competing with anything else. Sleight of Hand is interesting. This is the conduit right now for Outlaw Rogue. It is a conduit that is often taken, but there's a better percentage chance for this on the live servers right now in Shadowlands. So I think that this is probably like a dead talent. They need to make this like 25 or 30% chance to grant additional matches. 10 is just way, way too low. So I think they need to buff this significantly. Restless Blades, of course, you really have to take this as Outlaw Rogue, or else you don't even have like a gameplay style anymore. Float Like a Butterfly is here, which is a PvP talent. Restless Blades now also reduces the remaining cooldown of Evasion and Feint. That is completely broken and is, like, I think essential for all Outlaw Rogues. It is so incredibly strong to have your big defensive cooldowns come back quicker than you would otherwise normally have them back. Like, I just think about Spiteful Week because I hate Spiteful Week so much. This is going to be amazing on Spiteful Week. So I really like this. Deeper Stratagem is here, and if you're paying attention, you might notice that Deeper Stratagem is also over here. And what it reads is that you just gain 1 additional max combo point, and then your finishing moves. So you're going to get 2 additional max combo points here for a total of 7, which is very cool. You can have 7 combo points as an Outlaw Rogue. I think that's very interesting. Of course, with the supercharged, anima-charged theme that's going on with Outlaw Rogue, consuming 7 combo points, it makes sense that you can just get 7 naturally. So that's really cool. This is a nerf here. They put Combat Potency here and Fatal Flourish here. Combat Potency and Fatal Flourish are 1 buff, passive buff that you get as Outlaw Rogue right now, so that is a definite nerf. Having to take both of these to get the effect of 1 passive right now on live servers feels kind of bad. So that is kind of bad right there, not going to lie. But, I mean, I guess they have to have some sort of filler options here, but I'm not super happy about that. Count the Odds is the conduit that exists right now in Shadowlands that is kind of mandatory for getting you additional Roll the Bones enhancement buffs. The duration and chance are tripled while stealth. So again, this is much easier to use now because you're going to be more incentivized to go into a stealth combo. Also, I'm assuming this works with Shadow Dance because it gains you all the combat benefits of stealth. So what you basically do is you'd pop that Shadow Dance window, ambush, ambush, ambush. You'd be supercharging your combo points, and every time you're ambushing, you would be getting a bunch of Roll the Bones buffs. Probably like all of them. Legitimately, you could have all of them. And you could combine that with a talent down here called Keep It Rolling. But this is kind of a really interesting combo now. You like Shadow Dance, ambush, ambush, finisher, ambush, ambush, finisher. You're going to have all 5 combat bonuses. I guarantee it. Like with Count the Odds, you'll probably have all of them. So very, very cool synergy there. Restless Crew. This is really, really cool. So let me read this for a second. Restless Blades now also affects all party members within 40 yards, reducing the remaining cooldown on a major offensive ability by 0.2 seconds per combo point. This is insane. This is so cool. And this is exactly how you get Outlaw Rogue into a raid. This is exactly what you need to be doing for classes and for specs to get them into a raid that they otherwise might not be able to get into. Not that that's the only reason you should take an Outlaw Rogue, but this is such a really cool incentivization to take people into a raid, like take Outlaw Rogues into a raid. I don't really know how this is going to work in practice. 0.2 seconds doesn't sound like very much, but over the course of a raid fight, it might get people a minute or 2 minutes off of their cooldowns, which would be insane. Like their major offensive cooldowns. That would be insane. I mean, this is very, very good for the game. Blizzard needs to do this for every single spec. Please, Blizzard, for the love of God, do this for every spec. Give everybody some sort of raid-wide buff that they can bring to the group that is unique and is interesting and works with their kit, right? Restless Blades affects party members within 40 yards, reducing the remaining cooldown by 0.2 per combo point. That is an Outlaw Rogue thing, and it can apply to the whole raid, you know? I think they could easily do this with other classes. Like Holy Priest, for example. Holy Priest has, I guess, PI, but they all have PI. So I think for Holy Priest, it could be like increases all healing received on your raid members by 1%. 1% more healing received across the board. Stuff like that would be really flavorful and would make you think about bringing a particular spec. So very, very good. Dispatcher, this is completely busted. This basically says once you get this rolling, it has a 6-second duration on the buff, so you have to keep this like continuously rolling. But when you dispatch, when it consumes 5 combo points or more, it does 5% more damage and costs 5% less energy. Stacks up to 6 times, so that's 30% more damage and 30% or 30 less energy. So that's amazing if you can maintain the buff. We're going to have to see how difficult it is to continuously dispatch something every 6 seconds. I don't think it's going to be that hard to pull off. This is an amazing buff. Then finally, keep it rolling is the huge buff here. This is a 5-minute cooldown. Increases the remaining duration of your active Roll the Bones combat enhancements by 30 seconds. Remember what we talked about before? Imagine if you went Heavy Hitter, Audacity, and you have Count the Odds, right? So you go Shadow Dance, Ambush, 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 and you've got like all the combat bonuses you want for 5 seconds, and then you pop Keep It Rolling, and it buffs them up by 30 seconds. You take all these little buffs that you've just got for 5 seconds, and you just giga juice them for 30 more seconds. That's pretty insane. That's a pretty cool combo right there. So this is a cool buff. It is a 5-minute cooldown, but it's reduced by Restless Blades, which means it's more likely a 1.5-minute cooldown if you're playing things correctly. Okay, so that's the middle section of the tree. It's insane. Really, really good combat buffs. Good synergy with the stealth package. Really, really cool. Let's get to the right-hand side of the tree. We've got Between the Eyes here and a buff to Between the Eyes that is not currently on the live servers. I checked this. Between the Eyes is a 4% chance per combo point to grant you 4 combo points. That's really cool. I mean, it's not something that... Is that a legendary effect? Let me check one more time. I just want to make sure I'm not completely stupid. I don't think it's there. No. I don't think this exists, and it's not part of the passive... I looked it up. It's not part of my passive thing on Between the Eyes. So Between the Eyes has a high chance to crit, of course. Increases your crit chance by 20%. But here, this is interesting. If you spend a 7-point finisher, that's 28% chance to get 4 combo points back. So that's pretty cool. Hit and Runs over here, which again I was sad about. Quick Draw is here. So you can get Weapon Master and Quick Draw if you want. Both talents that share the same rule. Dreadblades is here, and I want to talk about Dreadblades really quickly. So Dreadblades was not really taken because Alacrity was just better, unfortunately, even though that's really, really boring. Dreadblades, I think, now is much, much more easy to take because you have, again, your finishing moves consume 5% of your health, which is bad. But over here, we have things like Recuperator and Leeching Poison. So you could legitimately take both of these if you want to. Let's say you were going down and getting Cold Blood and Thistlety anyway. Get Leeching Poison and Recuperator. And then your recovery is kind of like nuts. You have really, really good healing over time, which helps to counteract the downside to Dreadblades. So I do think that this is much, much easier to take in Dragonflight because it doesn't share a row with Alacrity and because you can get the sustain that you need to push through the health that you're going to be losing. Okay? Increases the range of your melee attacks by 3 yards when Blade Flurry is active. Increases the range of your melee attacks by 3 yards with Acrobatic Strikes. That's 6 yards during Blade Flurry. That's insane. It means, like, when you pull a huge pack, you'll be able to hit everybody no matter what. So I think Outlaw Rogue now officially has the longest range of any melee character while Blade Flurry is active, which is really, really cool. Again, Dancing Steel, like we said, is completely busted. This is so good for Outlaw Rogue in Mythic Plus. Like, this is going to save their AoE damage 100%. It's really, really good. So, I love that. Keep going here. Main gauge, 10%. Mastery by 10%. That's fine. I actually think main gauge and mastery are both good. You want me to close that? And then Killing Spree's here, but we're not happy about that because it's the same as it's always been. So I really do think they need to make this like you summon a clone of yourself, and that clone does the teleporting. Somebody else said this in a video before. Or it's something to the effect of, like, they just need to change this ability altogether. That maybe your next attack or your next finisher will teleport around and hit other people. It needs to be something different than you losing control of your character for 2 seconds. Blade Flurry, Precise Cuts is interesting. Blade Flurry damage is increased by an additional 3% per missing target below its maximum. This helps to ensure Outlaw Rogue's ability to do damage in lower AoE targets, okay? It's very, very good for that. So what this means is if you take this talent up here, which you will have, you're going to have an 8-target maximum on Blade Flurry, okay? If you're only hitting 3 enemies, that means you get 5 times 3. You get 15% more damage on Blade Flurry because you're missing 5 targets out of the 8 that you could have because your cap is 8. So you just get more damage for less AoE that's going on. Does that make sense? Now, only on Blade Flurry, of course, but Blade Flurry is your AoE damage. So it's really, really good. If you're hitting like 2-target cleave, 3-target cleave, your damage will go up by 15, 18% on those packs because you have sort of less AoE. And that really is good. That kind of doubles down on Outlaw Rogue's capped AoE problem by saying, listen, we're still capping you at 8 targets. You don't have uncapped AoE, but you're going to be really good at killing small amounts of enemies, like on Theater of Pain, for example, right? In the Zav wing of Theater of Pain, where there's only like 2-3 guys, maybe 5 guys total. You're going to be doing more damage than other people because you have Precise Cuts. So very, very cool. Here's the last 2 right here. This is really good. Fan the Hammer. I remember this name, Fan the Hammer, from like Legion or something, but I went and looked it up and I couldn't find it anywhere on the internet. So, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't exist. But Fan the Hammer is really, really strong. It gives your Sinister Strike a 5% additional chance to strike again. So that combined with Weapon Master is a 50% chance for it to strike twice. When Sinister Strike strikes an additional time, you gain 1 to 2 additional stacks of the buff that grants half-cost use of Pistol Shot. And you can stack up to 6 times. This is insane. This is so good. So this is basically saying, like, you are never going to waste your Sinister Strike procs anymore. There are often moments when I'm fighting where I hit Sinister Strike, and then I'll, like, hit Sinister Strike again, but it had already procced my Pistol Shot, my half-use Pistol Shot shot. And so I actually get the buff. I got the buff like twice in a row, and I wasted it by accident. That's just me playing bad. But this will help players be able to not lose out on that Pistol Shot damage anymore. Stacking this up to 6 different times. You can get your half-cost use of Pistol Shot can stack up to 6 times. So that's a really, really good quality of life right there. I think that's going to make Pistol Shot do tons of damage, and it's going to make Quick Draw a really vital talent to take as well. And it's going to synergize perfectly, of course, with Greenskin Whiskers, which is the final one here. Between the Eyes has a 20% chance per combo point to increase the damage of your next Pistol Shot. So you'll just have Pistol Shots loaded up like all the time, you know, ready to go. And you'll be able to put that into the Greenskin Whiskers. Of course, we don't have our tier set bonus, which helps to get us those free Between the Eyes. But that's okay. This is still very, very strong. So there's the legendary right there, Greenskin Whiskers. So that's it, guys. You've got, let me summarize this really quickly. You've got a stealth package over here that gives a new play style to Outlaw Rogue that we haven't seen, focusing on Ambush. Ambush is doubling down on the Anima Charge, Echoing Reprimand play style that I like to play with right now. You got Sepsis in there, allowing you additional use of the stealth ability. You can combine that with Shadow Dance, giving you a big burst window where you're pressing ambush, ambush, finisher, ambush, ambush, ambush. and you're getting to use it because you're in Shadowlands, and you're getting extra combat buffs from Roll the Bones because of Count the Odds, and then you can increase the duration of all of them with Keep It Rolling. So that's the interesting stealth side right there. In the middle, we have all of our combat buffs, like Roll the Bones, buffs to Roll the Bones, Restless Blades, defensive bonuses to Restless Blades, Count the Odds once again, Restless Crew, which is going to be a raid-wide cooldown, like a raid-wide buff that you can bring as an Outlaw Rogue. That's insane. Dispatcher is really, really crazy. Keep It Rolling is there, of course. On the right-hand side of the tree, we have some Blade Flurry buffs that give us 8 target AoE instead of 5. And buff our damage against enemies if there's less than 8. And on top of that, give us access to abilities like Dread Blades, which we might actually want to take now, that we've never taken before because it competed with Alacrity. And then getting down to things like Fan the Hammer, giving us a really, really nice quality of life buff on Sinister Strike. So this tree is incredibly strong. It's incredibly good. There's so many good things here. There's very few buttons that are actually like wasted. I don't think there's anything here that's really bad, except for maybe Triple Threat. That's like the only thing that I'm not happy about. But you can combine that with like a stealth package over here, or an Outlaw Rogue sort of package in the middle here, or you can get more of the Assassination Rogue style and get lots of crit from Cold Blood, combining that with Between the Eyes for big, big crits. Get some Leeching Poison to help counteract Dread Blades, and then maybe get Thistle Tea to combine with a big ambush window in your Shadow Dance burst window that you're working on there. So that's it, guys. That's Outlaw Rogue in Dragonflight. It's looking really good. The Rogue trees, once again, are all very, very good. We're very happy with the Rogue trees. I hope that all the other trees receive the same kind of love and care that has clearly been put into the Rogue ones. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I want to hear what you think about Outlaw Rogue in general. What do you think about all these different, like the new stealth package coming in? They got rid of some of the buffs that we had currently, like the legendary that I like to use the most. But what do you think in general about Outlaw Rogue and how it's shaping up in Dragonflight? Let me know. Drop a like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel already. If you want to support the future of what I'm doing here, Patreon, as always, is the best way to do that. And there's a link down below for that, for exclusive bonuses if you want to get that as well. Thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.